All right, so we've implemented the access to the controller for retrieving the list of websites, right? Let's now focus on being able to, for instance, remove one of these websites. Okay, so let's do that. What we could do is that in the where we render it, what we could do is add a link over here at the end of this line item, so that we can send a message to remove. Right? We can say a href. We want to go back to the controller. The controller is where? Is right here, right? It's this is the URL. So it lives right here. Website controller, right? And we'd like to have a delete button at the end. Right, so if we refresh this, we have a delete button at the end. Right? Now, right now, it's not doing anything. If I click on it, it's just refreshing the page. Right? It's not really doing anything. Okay. But we could send some information with our intent that we want to delete this particular website. With a question mark, we can pass in some action that we want to do. We want to delete this, right? The action is to delete, and we can pass in maybe the ID of the website that we want to remove, right? So we can pass in website ID and say that this is, we need to encode the URL, the ID here. And this is, we're iterating over the website, right? So we can have website dot get ID. Right? So if we refresh this and we hover over the delete, notice that we have encoded, right? The action is to delete, and the website ID is equal to 1, right? So, and if I hover over the other one, we have 1 and 2. See that? So on the controller, we can listen for that incoming get, right? If we click on it, this just generates a get. See that? It encoded it in the URL. See that? Right. So that's a get that we could still handle on the servlet side, right? So let's go back to the servlet side, and we can get a hold of those actions and those IDs, right, from the query string. We can parse it. We can say string get a hold of the action by retrieving it from the incoming request. Get parameter, and the parameter is action. And we can also retrieve the ID from website ID. Now, sometimes these are not available, right? If we're just listing websites, these actions and IDs would not be available, right? Only if we are deleting or updating or creating, these would be there. So we could check to see, right, if we have an action, delete, we can compare it against the action. And if indeed we have an action, then we can do something, right, actually delete, right? So if there's a delete, we want to make sure that we have an ID that we can delete. So we can check to see if there is an ID. So if ID is not null, then maybe we could try and parse it as an integer, right? So we can say maybe int website ID is equal to integer.parse, and we can parse the ID. Yes? Once we have the ID, and now we can go back to the DAO, right, and ask it to remove that particular website. Yes? For that, we'll need the website to be declared earlier, so I'll put it up here. And now we can say website DAO dot delete, and we don't have a delete, right? So we need to go back to the DAO to implement the delete. Yes. So this would be something like delete website, and we would pass along the website ID. Okay. Notice that after we delete the website, presumably it would then go fetch all the websites again, right? And it would re-render all the websites that are left over, the ones that were not deleted. Yes? So let's go on and implement a delete website in the DAO. Right, so let's go into DAO and let's implement delete website. For that, we will have the public int delete website, and we'll have as arguments website ID. And we'll need a string for that, right? We'll have delete website, which will be something like, delete from website where ID equal question mark. Yes, or something like that, correct? And we're going to do the same thing we did earlier, right? So we have int result -1 return result. Okay. So in here we're going to get a hold of the connection. Well, first we'll need the driver. So we'll do class dot class dot forName, and this will be the JDBC driver, right? And we'll have to wrap it in a try catch. We'll need to get a hold of connection. From the driver, so driver manager dot get connection, and we'll have to provide the URL. And no, this is DB URL. What do we call it? There it is. And pass in the username and pass in the password. Right? And we'll need to. I think that's it, right? We need a connection. Then what else do we need? We need a statement, so we create the prepared statement equal connection dot prepare statement, and we'll use the delete website. There it is. Ooh, username. What's wrong with username? Is it just user? Oh, okay. And this is password, like that? Okay. And this, I need to maybe add to the catch block. There we go. Now that we have the statement, we need to populate the ID, right, with the website ID that we're passing as an argument. So let's do that. So this will be statement dot set integer. And this will be the first parameter passed into website ID. Yes? And then we can execute statement.execute query. No, execute update, right? Execute update. Once we execute the update, presumably has been removed, hopefully. And we're just going to close these in reverse order. So statement.close, statement close, and then connection close behind us. Okay, so hopefully that will work and won't explode. Let's see. If we have the execute update, that's going to return how many records were actually removed. So we can set it to the result, so it comes back with how many were removed. All right. All right. So let's our controller now. Hopefully, notice that it no longer it now compiles, presumably. Let's go back to here and refresh, and it's removed because we had removed it from earlier. Okay, and if I remove my Facebook, it's gone as well. So I have no websites now. Okay. All right. So the next thing would be maybe I want to create new websites. All right. So let's do that next.